One of my favorite anime licensing company I had back when I was buying anime on DVDs, when I was just starting to do so 8 years ago, ADV Films. Oh yes. Before that company reformatted itself, I was basically checking out a lot of their titles back in the day. Starting with Excel Saga, the Slayers movies and OVAs, Azumanga Daioh, and even some of the lesser quality titles like Happy Lesson. Mostly because of the advertising on each DVD, they had about previews of 6 random assortments of their other shows. And this will bring me to the current anime I'm reviewing, Devil Hunter Yohko. This is the very first anime title ADV licensed when the company began. I vaguely heard about it, but never saw it, much less owned it on DVD. However, recently I did get around to owning the series and watching it, and I gotta say, for its time, it was probably something very unique and original to show up in the West, hence why ADV wanted to start out that way. However, if an anime similar to this fashion is licensed today, let's just say anime fans can be rather pretentious and difficult to please. Don't get me wrong, I do like Devil Hunter Yohko. It could have been better if it was an extended TV series instead of a 6 episode OVA. But the thing is, well, you know what, let me just start the review. Devil Hunter Yohko is a 6 episode OVA series, with 5 of them being actual episodes of the series and 1 of them being a music video compilation. The show was created by Studio Madhouse and produced by Toho, famous for the Godzilla films. The story centers around boy crazy 16-year-old Yohko Mano. Just your regular, typical run-of-the-mill high school girl. However, things for her start to change when her grandmother reveals to her that the Mano family is actually part of a long lineage of devil hunters sworn to protect the world from invading demons. And Yohko is the next generation in line to become the 108th devil hunter. So why wasn't her mother a devil hunter at all? Because a member of the Mano family has to be a virgin in order to be a devil hunter, and Yoko's mother lost it too soon and eventually gave birth to Yohko herself. So the OVA series is an action/magical girl anime with some darker moments but balanced out with some comedy as well. Each episode varies in quality, both in plot and animation, and they're done in an episodic method, which each episode have its own story. So there's no overall story arc to this series. It's basically one episode, different story. Got it, go on, move along, there you go. The first episode was very heavy on the fan service, including a scene where Yohko was almost raped by a demon possessing a male friend of hers, so he can make sure she can't be a threat to the demons. Thankfully, Grandma Madoka saves the day in that scene. Afterwards, while fan service is still around, it does get heavily toned down. I'm not going to describe the story synopsis for each episode since it'll take forever, and like I said before, whenever I do a positive review, I try not to give out everything. So instead, I'll just give out quick opinions on each episode. I liked the first episode. I thought the build-up and the action sequence was really good. The second episode is okay. I mean, they introduced Azusa as the sidekick character. I'll cover her later. I did not like or care about the third episode. The music video special, I say skip it and watch it after viewing all the other OVAs. Episode 5 did get a little better, and I did like the climax fight sequence in that anime as well. And episode 6 I liked, but definitely could have been better, and the whole rivalry between Yohko and Ayako could have been handled better. Okay, I'm going to briefly talk about some of the characters. I already talked a little about Yohko Mano, being boy crazy and a devil hunter. As a devil hunter, she's competent but still has a lot to learn. Also, she's not really fond of being a devil hunter all that much. You know, the I would rather be a normal girl, etc., etc., etc. archetype character. However, there is one thing I like. One running motif in the series is that almost all the guys that Yohko has a crush on in the series, they do have some very unfortunate fates, such as, you know, being killed or being part of a sacrifice to the demons. It just came off to me as a comedic gag, even though I'm pretty sure that not all of them were meant to be played for laughs. Then there was Azusa Kanzaki, a devil hunter in training slash apprentice under Yohko. And I don't know why Yohko needs a sidekick, considering the fact that she was relatively a new devil hunter, and there's not that much backstory character development given to Azusa to begin with. In fact, the whole apprentice thing, I don't know why Yohko would be training Azusa when Yohko herself, even though by the second episode she's still used to being a devil hunter, it does come off to me as if she also has a lot to learn herself. I don't know, I guess they wanted to give her a sidekick or something or whatever. Regardless, I did not mind Azusa all that much. And there's Chigako, Yoko's friend and high school informant, who is also Yoko's manager as a devil hunter. Too bad that manager bid didn't go anywhere after the second episode. And finally, there's Madoka Mano, grandmother of Yohko and the 107th Devil Hunter. She's a total ninja badass. While old and not as tough as she was younger, she could still put up a fight against various demons. Oh, did I mention she drives a motorcycle? In fact, I was actually annoyed when she disappeared during the second and third episodes, thinking that she may not return again, but thankfully she comes back at the last two episodes. Antagonist-wise, there's only two characters worth mentioning, and they're both from the last two episodes. There's the time demon Tokima, who's actually an enemy to all the devil hunters going back to the first one, Haruka Mano. He was built up to be this great and powerful menacing demon in the beginning of the fifth episode, and apparently he's like the cause of most of the devil hunters' falls. The build up was a little bit on the lukewarm side, but the climax at the end, I really liked how that was handled. And then there was Ayako Mano, Yoko's cousin, who serves as the rival evil twin antagonist. She's actually not evil, but she does bear a grudge against Yohko because her and Madoka were devil hunters, so it's a grudge that dates back to their grandmothers. Every other antagonist, they're just basic run-of-the-mill demons. Not really worth mentioning all that much. They did not make that big of an impact to me. The art and animation is basic 90s OVA animation quality, which is high in detail with some variations of the animation. It's nice and very detailed. A little bit on the dark side since it's a series about dealing with devils. However, not too dark and gritty. It does have some nice colorful elements added in there as well. And I just want to say that the fight sequence in the first OVA was pretty damn outstanding, that's for sure, in terms of animation. Now, there was a quality shift between the first four episodes of the OVA, and if there was a big quality shift, I wouldn't notice all that much. However, the final episode, which was directed by Akiyuki Shimbo of Shaft fame, by the way, the change in the artwork was obvious as hell. It was fine, but it's one of those uncovering changes that you have to eventually get used to. The music in Devil Hunter Yohko is okay. I do like the closing credits music to the first and last episode OVAs, and I like the little intro jingle to the first episode because it almost feels like I'm watching some old martial arts exploitation film or something. The English dub is provided by, obviously, ADV Films. Even though Yohko was the first ADV anime release, I don't believe it's the first dub they ever done. In fact, when they went back to dub it, they found some additional footage they could use, hence why there's like a special edition to Devil Hunter Yohko that came with the collection. The additional footage is supposed to lighten the tone or whatever, about 45 seconds extra footage, I think. I don't know, I couldn't see that much of, I did not see that much of a difference between the two. I may have to rewatch them to notice them. Amanda Winley, Kimberly Yates, and Tiffany Grant voice Yohko, Azusa, and Chigako respectively. I clumped those three together because they've voiced Riley Vincent, May Hopkins, and Becky Fair in the Gunsmith Cats OVA series, which I thought was a pretty weird coincidence. The dubbing was okay. There were some voices that do require getting used to, Madoka's especially. However, I have about 2 to 3 nitpicks. In the scene where Grandma Madoka was explaining the legacy of Devil Hunters to Yohko, the writers thought it was necessary for Yohko to chime in stuff like, "Ah, yeah, I see. Uh-huh. You don't say." In between Madoka's lines of dialogue, as if we wouldn't know she was paying attention already. And they even do this again with Azusa during the explanation of who Tomino was from Madoka. And another nitpick, however, this one is actually really funny. One of the supporting characters in the last episode, some basketball player, he sounded like he was related to Tristan from Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. He sounded so goofy. It's almost as if the dubbers wanted to, like, since he was gonna be only having like 10 seconds of screen time, they wanted him to sound funny or something just for shits and giggles. It was jarring, but I still laughed at it. Also, I find it hilarious that Yohko would sometimes say bitchin' as an exclamatory statement, such as the first time she sees her Devil Hunter outfit. Bottom line, I did enjoy Devil Hunter Yohko. I could see why ADV wanted to start their company out with this title first. However, it has since then shown its age. I mean, stuff that Yohko has is definitely more prevalent in today's anime, thus not making it stand out as much. It's still a crazy fun anime, and my recommendation would go to people who want to see a more action-oriented, less diabetic moe blah magical girl anime, and for those who want to look back on how older anime fares. And I'm not gonna lie, this review has been a pain for me to structure out. Half of the reasons why it took nearly 2 months to get this out. So if I apologize, this review came out on the sloppy side. Well, if you didn't, then I'm glad you enjoyed this review. With that said, Darkscream 217 signing out, and I hope I can get my Oh My Goddess and El Hazard reviews out sooner.